Hey guys, and welcome back to Hardly.Workin. This right here is our Kubota SVL75-3 skid steer, or track loader I guess you could call it. This never came with the electronics 14-pin connector near the hydraulics to connect attachments and hydraulic solenoids, or like a snowblower as we have here. So a lot of your attachments will have little solenoids in there that have wires coming up to a 14-pin connector here, like this one, but we don't have anywhere to install it, so you can't control your tilt of your spout and your turn of your spout in the cab. You have to go out and do it manually. So this is going to be handy to have. So you can go to your Kubota dealer and get this part. I think it's upwards of $800 or $900 to get this kit to install the wiring harness for the 14-pin connector. I'll link it in the description. I found this on eBay. This is a guy. This isn't just some cheap Chinese crap. This is some guy building these harnesses to a better standard than Kubota does. So this is thicker gauge wire, and he uses better terminals in the connector here itself. He also includes all the Kubota parts. So this is a Kubota part right here to mount it to the hydraulic block, and then little connectors here that push in. This is very intuitive. Kubota made this very easy for people to do. So you just snap them in and snap the harness in, and then this connector, like I said, just connects to a pre-wired connector in the skid steer. He also included the Kubota manual. This harness is basically the same as a Kubota, so it's just the same instructions, no matter if you get the factory part or this guy's part, which I'll link in the description. He also includes some big zip ties. Not sure what for yet, but we'll get into this and we'll see. So the first thing I did was remove this plate that protects that. 17mm bolts on there. Get that out of your way. Then you're gonna want to take your plate here with your 2 bolts, and these are 13mm bolts. That just goes right there. And there's pre-threaded holes into the block, which are made for this. It's kind of tricky to get them started, but go ahead and get those started. They have lock washers on them as well. Just take your 14 or 13mm socket and run them down. Now you can take your harness and take the end with the connector, obviously. And the flat part goes on top, slides right in there. Put your lock washer on there, and then your nut. I'm gonna take my pump pliers here and snug that up. And that's solid, good to go. Then you can go ahead and test out your brand new connector. Nice and solid. I like it. Okay, so now you're gonna take your harness and take the other end and pass it through this area underneath the case drain. Right through there. You don't want to go through here or go under here, because it's gonna route the cleanest, and you're also gonna zip tie it to that case drain, I believe. So pull that through. There's a little gray connector on here. I'm not sure what it's for yet, but probably be used down the line. Looking good. So I kind of just took and dangled that over the back of there just to hold that there while we're securing it to the side arm here. So now the manual states to secure it to the case drain with, I'm assuming, one of these zip ties here. Looks like they give you 4 of these clamps here as well. Those will be used on the arm. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a zip tie, put that around there, secure that like so. So I'm gonna try and get you guys to see this. But back here, there's little holes on the back of these clamps, of these brackets. Hole there, hole there. Down in here, there's little brackets. There's little holes on all of them. Even all the way up here. Even all the way up at this far back one, there's a clamp right here. Straight down is another hole. And all those holes are what these things snap into. And they have a little ridge in there, so it kind of locks the wire loom into place. Should be 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go ahead and get those put in, and then that'll leave us with our wire harness hanging down here to run it down from there. All right, so I got the wiring harness ran up the side of the here. I can go on the inside of this skid steer and actually show you. So if you see, it comes from there, goes across, and there's little connectors there. We're connecting it to there. So it kind of runs up there. It's fairly tight, but You might struggle with these connectors a little bit. They are not exactly perfect. I mean, if you watch the YouTube video, the guy who makes these harnesses, I'll link that in the description as well. Talks about how he got the best parts he could. But you're basically getting twice the product for half the cost, as far as the wire itself and the protection. The wire loom around it, it's thicker wire, you're getting a better wire than you are from the factory. So here's my harness coming up from there. The manual actually states that there's 5 clips. It only comes with 4, and I can't get the 4th one on, and even if I did get the 4th one on, I believe it goes right here. There's a little hole on the bottom of here, but there's that piece sticking in the way, so it'd be like in the way of it. So I'm thinking I just put it in here. It's gonna hurt absolutely nothing, and not gonna go anywhere. So what you do from here is stick your harness down here until it comes out right here, which I can already see mine. And there you go. Make sure there's no kinking up in here. Just kind of feed it through there. And this little gray plastic guy actually comes apart. Comes apart just like that. And this is gonna slide. You see there's actually a little notch right here in the orange. This is gonna slide over that and kind of connect it to it. So you want that in a good spot on the wire loom itself. So I'm gonna put mine somewhere around here, like this, and snap it back shut. A screwdriver and kind of just pry against here. Just push it on all the way. I heard it click. Now basically all there is left to do, take the end of your wire. Take the end of your wire. There's a hole in the chassis right there, which leads to the inside. If you go on the inside, you can see the light through there. There's a hole right there. All you got to do is shove it right through there. And now, you can see this, there's actually a connector right there that we're gonna plug this wire into. Plug that into there. It's this way. There, clicked. And there's that. So that's all hooked up in there. I'm not exactly loving how much slack there is in here. So we can kind of tie that up a little bit. Zip tie it to the case drain there. Be no problem. And then up here, same thing. I'm actually going to zip tie it to the case drain to kind of make sure it runs along with it. And we should be done. I'll take my zip tie. Kind of pulling it tight from the arm. So then you get that slack right here. I might actually pull a little more from this. I might actually pull this connector off of here again, which isn't too bad to do, and slide that up because I don't want as much slack down here, but I want a little more up there. So kind of play with your slack a little bit. So let's get this connected. So now I think we can head in there and check out our functionality now. So I'm all finished up with the install on the 14-pin connection for this Kubota SVL75-3. I was able to get the rotate of the spout working in the cab. For some reason I can't get the tilt to work still. It almost seems like the pins are mixed up in here for what the machine controls. You can actually swap around these pins and these connectors. Kubota usually is pretty standard, so I'm surprised that the Kubota snowblower is not working with the Kubota skid steer, but got to troubleshoot some more into that. I actually redid this wiring harness, and from what I can tell, all my wires are good. So the wiring is good. I just have to get something's going on with that where it's not tilting the spout to adjust how far the snow is shooting. So I got to get that figured out. So I hope you enjoyed the install. I'll leave the 2 links in the description, one for the guy's YouTube video and one for the harness itself. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe. And if I'm lucky, I'll even catch you in the next one.